In this video, I buy one of the world's most extreme stunt aeroplanes and attempt to fly it. And my flight instructor did not think that it's a good idea. The only previous experience that I've had in aviation is in model radio-controlled aeroplanes. And everyone that I've ever had, I've crashed. Oh!
Look at you.
I'm doing that good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Watch out. There you go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jesus,
Kev. So around 8 months ago, I decided to move from the UK to the Isle of Man, a small island in the middle of the Irish Sea, and home to the Isle of Man, TT. Problem is, when going to visit friends and family, it's going to take round about 10 hours by boat and car to get from the Isle of Man to the UK, and then another 10 hours to get back again. So the only logical solution, in my mind, was to learn to fly and buy an aeroplane. In a normal plane, something like a Cessna, to get to the Isle of Man from the UK would probably take around about 2.5 hours. But in an extra, you can do it in just over an hour. Now, I've been warned by many people, including instructors, that an extra is not an ideal first aeroplane. They're really difficult to land. They've got no flaps to help give more lift. They come in really fast. It's a tail dragger aircraft, so you have to land them differently to a normal aeroplane. Visibility when you're landing is almost zero. You've got to sort of crab them in sideways so you can sort of look out the side and then straighten it up as you land. So it's going to take quite a few lessons and hours and God knows what to eventually learn how to fly one of these things. But, you know, on this channel we go more power and, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. So, yep, I need to buy an extra. So I've gone over to the British Aerobatics Academy to ask them a few questions about these extras and what it takes to fly them. So how much is one of them to buy?
The prices of a second-hand one starts with £300,000. Yeah. If you like a new one, about €500,000.
Yeah. Audio was pretty bad and you couldn't really hear what they were saying on camera, but to cut a long story short, I need to learn in a small training aircraft first before I can even think about flying one of these things. I made a video about my intentions of learning to fly and buying an extra. So Mark Jeffries, one of the world's best stunt pilots who's won countless British championships, offered to take me for a spin in one of his extras, and I was instantly hooked. And as soon as I got out the aeroplane, I went straight over to the flight school and booked my lessons. So here we are at 22 Flight School. I think the instructor is just around the corner here. So let's have a quick word with him and see what's involved with learning to fly a plane. Hello, are you the flight instructor?
Yeah, that's what they kind of tell me I am, yeah.
I was doing a little YouTube video on learning to fly. Well, it might be a silly idea, but I want to move to the Isle of Man.
Nice, yeah.
And it takes like 9 hours by car and boat to get there.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not get an aeroplane?
Obvious choice.
Get an aeroplane, yeah.
Okay.
So I want something quick, so something like an extra.
Oh, I don't know about wanting an extra. I'll tell you what
Yeah.
you need to do,
Yeah.
I mean, is first of all understand flight and
Yeah.
flying. I teach on these.
Oh, right, yeah.
These are called C-42s. They're microlight, so their
Yeah.
weight is 600 kilos, two
Yeah.
people, 80 horsepower engine. Flies, well, we can cruise at around about 80 miles an hour.
So I can start off with this and
You
then...
start with this.
and then extra.
Well, not straight away an extra. I mean, this is like...
Is it extra all right for a first airplane?
No, it bloody well isn't.
Oh.
No, it really isn't. Everyone gets really excited about, you know, extras, but they're aerobatic aeroplanes. You know, people like Mark Jeffries, he has got decades, and he won't mind me saying decades, of flying. He's been British champion, and he flies that kind of aeroplane. It's a Formula One car of the aviation world.
Yeah.
Where you start from is you've got to learn how to actually get in a car, switch it on, and where the window wipers are and the lights are, all the rest of it. That's where we start from.
Perfect.
Yeah. Absolutely. So if you want to sign up, we'll do that.
Yeah, let's do it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll get you started. But
Yeah.
the extra thing, just put that on the back burner a little bit.
Maybe
because once you get into flying, you're going to work out there are other aeroplanes to have that may do the job better than you want. I mean, I certainly wouldn't recommend an extra to you, not as your first aeroplane. All right? Okay. Let's get on. Let's go and sign ourselves up then, shall we?
All right. Boom. There we go. Lessons all booked up. If any of you guys want to come and learn to fly, 2-2 and there's Greg's details. So if you want any lessons, there's your man. So with Greg's advice taken on board, I go and visit Mark Jeffries, who has won multiple British aerobatic championships, and he's actually the dealer for extra aircraft here in the UK. So let's go and see Mark and see what aeroplane he can find us. So Mark over there, he's possibly found an aeroplane that's for sale.
It's an extra 330 LX, which is a very highly nimble aeroplane. It's like a racehorse.
So it's sort of similar to the one that you took me out in.
Yeah, it is actually. It's just a little bit more powerful than the other two-seater we went in.
That's exactly what we want on this channel. More power. But Mark's going to take us up there in his RV.
RV7, this one.
And you've built this plane yourself, haven't you?
Yeah. It came flat pack, IKEA style. So
Really?
You get sheets of aluminium, pre-punched holes, and you put it together like a big kit.
How long does it take to build it?
All of the fuselage during lockdown, it took me 14 months to do them.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's go have a look at this plane, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can buy it. Mark's got a YouTube channel as well, and Instagram and other socials as well, so I'm going to put a link to all of that lot down below in the description box. Check him out. He does all these crazy air shows and stunts and all stuff like that. Now, this journey would have taken around 3 hours in a car. In the plane, we did it in about 25 minutes. And here is the extra. Oh my God, what a beautiful aeroplane. Cool, here she is. Can you give us a little guided tour of it, Mark?
Yeah, everybody says, what's that bit on the wingtip? Well, that's an aerobatic sighting device. The horizon, when you're going straight up, will be level with this.
It looks brand new, doesn't it?
Well, Nick's looked after it very well.
Very well looked after.
Take care with the canopies. 20 grand if you break
Really?
it. Yes.
It's quite similar to the one you took me out in, but just a bit newer.
Oh, yeah. They're steel tube fuselages. Advantages of a metal tube structure is it's a crumple zone in the form of an accident.
Yep, you cannot hear a word that I'm saying. But anyway, what I was saying is that the chap who owns the plane, he's still not fully sure yet if he wants to sell the plane or if he wants to keep it. So we've got to wait a couple of months and then he's going to let us know. But don't go anywhere. We are going to buy a plane in this video. So while we're waiting to see if the chap is going to sell me his aeroplane, I may as well come down to 22 Flight School and have some flying lessons. And this is a Icarus C-42. So first of all, I have to learn how to fly. And here's Greg, my flight instructor.
Hi, I'm a flying instructor.
And you're going to teach me how to fly this?
Yes, it's a microlight, and we're going to have a bit of fun. It's not as heavy as some of the things that Kev's going to fly, but it's a good start, and it'll teach you all the things you need to know about absolute basic aviation.
So we start with a microlight.
We start with a microlight.
And then something like that over there?
Yeah, it's a bit like starting with a Mini, moving up to a Mondeo, and then eventually getting yourself into,
Extra.
Extra. That's what you want to fly.
I want to be going, Neow.
Well, let's just start by taking off first, shall we?
Yeah.
And getting it back on the ground.
Sounds good. What are you saying, Greg?
Oh, what was I saying? Yeah. I use a mnemonic, which is STAMP, S-T-A-M-P. S, safety. Hatches, locked. Your hatch, locked. Harness, on. The brake, here, is now on.
Now, most of you are probably not going to be too interested about the safety and all the little nitty and gritty and highly detailed techno-babble waffle. So we're just going to skip forward, get this thing in the air, and Greg is actually going to start making some more detailed flying lessons on his YouTube channel. So I'm going to put a link to Greg's YouTube channel down below in the description box.
So I'm going to smoothly increase the power. A little bit of back pressure to take the weight off the nose wheel. I'm checking I have full power. I'm checking the airspeed, just before 50, a little bit more of a push, and we've got airborne. Making a check on my temperatures and my pressures. I have full power. We're now at 100 feet. Beginning to get a little bit lively, staying inside the flap limitations as we start to climb. We're now at 250 feet, and at 300 feet, I'm putting my right hand up, squeezing, taking the flap off and taking the fuel off, 400 feet.
So that was a takeoff, and now Greg's going to show me how to do a landing. And then it's going to be my go.
Now I'll be right stick, right rudder, levelling the wings, everything in balance. I'm now going to get my flap on, making sure the airspeed is in the white arc. And there's the flap, and it's flapped down and ease the nose down. Now I've got the power if I need it, but I'd like to try and glide towards the airfield. I like teaching the glide approach to start with, because if the engine actually stops, that is the only tool in your toolbox. So there's a mantra here. I have an aiming point, which is on the runway. I'm making sure I'm lined up, i.e. I'm tracking towards the airfield or the runway. And is my airspeed correct? And we are, we're just at the top of the white arc. So aiming point, we're lined up, airspeed is correct. Now we're going to get a little bit of a clatter here from the trees on the left hand side. And the wind's marginally turned around and started coming up behind us. As we get near the ground now, I'm just going to raise the nose. I'm going to look straight down the runway. And as the airplane sinks, I'm just going to start bringing the stick back, 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 just before we land. Just going to squeeze the right foot to get us running straight. There it is, we've landed. Now we haven't stopped the flight until we've stopped this aircraft or we're outside the clubhouse.
Oh man, the microphone was becoming disconnected and the audio was getting really messed up. But anyway, it's my go.
Alright Kev, so we're coming in. I want you to slow the aircraft down so it gets into the white arc now, so we can have flaps on. Yeah?
So I've got to back a bit to slow it down.
Yeah, that's it, correct. Once you're there, which you are, left. And as the flap goes on, the nose goes down. Lovely. Maintaining the airspeed. See all that wobbling?
Yeah.
That's fair speed. Alright, and as you get near the ground, you start doing it back. And just do not let the plane land. Do not let it land. That's it. Do not let it land.
That wasn't very good, was it?
That was...
So that's a little bit more difficult than what I first thought, but, you know, we all got to start somewhere, so I need to get more practice in. But anyway, in the meantime, that extra that we had a look at, he's decided not to sell it, he decided to keep it, but Mark's found us another one, so we're going to meet him up at the airfield, have a look at it, and hopefully if it's any good, we might get it. We've got the mechanic on board here, so he's going to have a look as well and see if it's any good. Cut! Here comes Mark. So me and mechanic Chris drove up to where the aeroplane is. It was around about a 2-hour drive, and Mark come to meet us in his extra single-seater, and it took him about 20 minutes. And here's the plane, also an extra 330 LX, and it's in just as good condition, really low hours, only 140 hours. Yeah. So look, here he is, and in my novice opinion, it looks perfect. So I don't really know what I'm looking at. Looks like fun, doesn't it?
There you are in the office.
Yep, I like it, I buy it. This stuff looks quite technical. No idea how it all works, but that's what we've got to learn. What do you reckon, mechanic? Buy it?
Alright, do a buy.
Yeah? Alright, well hopefully we can get a deal done. We can buy it, hopefully. Front wheel drive, turbos, turbo boost. So here we've got Mark about to leave in his extra. So Mark's off for a 20-minute fly home and we're off for a 2-hour drive home. I think it's the one, so we're giving him a deposit. So soon, I'm gonna have a plane. Cut! Guys, we've bought the plane. So now we just got to go over, pick it up, fly it back to Mark's airfield. Well, not me flying it, Mark's going to fly it, I'm going to be passenger. He might even let me have a little go of it. So we're taking a 2-hour taxi drive up to where the plane is, and then we got a nice 20-minute flight back. Here we go, we've just arrived. So Mark's going to be the pilot in this seat here, and then the passenger seat is in the front. That's going to be me in there. He did say yesterday he might let me have a little go. So what are we doing here, Mark?
Pre-flight inspection. So some people will start, you can start anywhere on the aeroplane you want, but start in that place, walk around it and just check everything. I'm starting at the propeller here. So just checking for any damage on the propeller, turning it in the direction of engine run. Just checking for stone damage on the blades. Give them a little wriggle, see that they're not loose. Sort of glancing that all screws are into place and so on. As we walk round, then just going to check the oil. So we'll look in there. And we've got a dipstick here.
Oh, it screws in?
Anything above 8, 9 is good for aerobatics. And where are we at? Oh, we're up at 14. So if we was to do aerobatics here,
Yeah.
it would vent it out. Not positive G aerobatics would be all right, but since we went upside down, the oil system changed over to the inverted feed, and you get a lot of oil go into the separator tank.
So you've got to drain some out for that?
No, you don't drain it out, it'll just go out the tail automatically.
Oh, right.
Wheel spats, make sure they're not loose. That's good and firm. These bolts can come loose occasionally. These screws are stainless steel, and it's so easy to over tighten them and graunch the heads. And if you under tighten them, the vibration can loosen them a bit. So anyway, fuel cap is in place, and come down the wing. Checking the pitot is straight. Nobody's walked into the damn thing.
This is what measures your airspeed, isn't it?
Yeah. Navigation lights, port is red, strobe light and a white tail light. Looking down the aileron and make sure we've got full and clear deflections. Under here we've got the what's called a spade. And this
Power steering?
Yeah, it is, exactly, power steering.
Yeah.
And this, you can see, is in front of the hinge line. So any force on here is countering the force which is being deflected upwards.
So it makes it easy to move your stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it reduces the control forces considerably. Without that, it's very heavy. Tailplanes, good and rigid. We're looking here at the rudder cable attachments here to the controls and the tail wheel steering. Important thing here is trim tab. There was an aeroplane a couple of years ago, it cracked and the hinge came disconnected and it stuck up in the wind and it was vibrating.
Oh, what does that fly like?
And the elevator was going up and down like this.
Right.
Then it came off and whacked into the rudder.
Did I land it all right?
Yeah, he did, but he was a little bit nervous. If you do a heavy landing, you can sometimes get a crack in the undercarriage leg, and it starts in this hole here. A little crack goes up the middle of the leg.
Here we go, round 2.
So there you are, Kev. In for the first ride.
Am I going to have a little go today?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Once we get airborne, I'll give you control.
So I'll do a loop, a roll, stall turn. Here we are, all strapped in. Can we see Mark in the back there?
Hey.
So here's my view at the moment, which is nothing. All I can see is sky. So here was me having a little fly, and then Mark takes over and lands the plane. So I'm just here at the flight school. I'm going to go and see Greg, my flight instructor, and see what he thinks of my new toy. Hey, you alright, Greg?
Alright mate, how you doing? You back, are you?
I've got a new toy.
You really? Another one, eh?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, boys with the toys, eh?
How is it?
Alright, okay. Let's have a look. So what have you got? Oh, you're going to show me, are you? What toy have you got?
That there.
Which one?
Oh, the red one. The red and white one.
That red, that's
You
an
like it?
extra.
Do you like it?
You're learning in a C-42. What
Yeah,
the hell have you bought that for?
Oh, you teach me first.
Yeah, no, I teach you on a
Yeah.
thing like a Mini. That's a Formula One frigging car.
I know.
What the f have you done? Well, I thought we had this conversation about. I mean, it's beautiful aeroplane, but you haven't even learned how to drop.
Have a look.
I don't even. Jesus Christ!
It can't be that hard to fly, can it?
Well, first of all, it's the tail dragger, and we're learning on the trike.
Yeah.
It's got, what's that got? 200, 300 horsepower engine?
315 horsepower.
Well, put it this way, the one you're flying in is an 80 horsepower aircraft.
I think I'm getting told off.
I don't even want to ask you how much that cost.
Yeah.
Let's try to work out how to drive a Mini before you get into bloody Lewis Hamilton's bloody vehicle.
So how long do I think it would take me to learn to fly this?
I'm working out how long it's going to take you to fly that before you get into this. I mean, it's a little bit... You're bad crazy, man. What the f***?
Maybe we jumped into the deep end just a little bit.
I mean, look, it's got a twisty prop. It's called a variable pitch prop.
Is that good? What does that mean?
Well, it helps fly the aeroplane, but something that's a Formula One car, you don't even have pedals. It's all done in your hand. It's a totally different mindset to fly one of these things than it is one of mine. Jesus. That way, up there, we work out what's going on. This is on the edge.
I've already had
You've just bought this. You've had a little go.
I've had a little go.
You've had a little wiggle with a stick, have you?
Crazy, actually.
Absolutely,
I don't know what the fuss is about.
All the fuss. Well, I might have a go in it, but you flying that now.
So once I pass my test,
Nonsense.
Once I pass my test,
Yeah,
you'll come out with me.
Yeah, absolutely. When you pass your test, I'll come out with you after you've done several hundred hours and you're still alive. Okay? What have you bought that for?
But it looks cool, doesn't it?
It looks cool. It looks fun.
To get to the Isle of Man quick, hour and 10 minutes to the
What
Isle
do
of
you
Man.
want to fly that to the Isle of Man for?
It's fast.
It's not a very comfortable aircraft to fly.
It's quick, it's like, and it's done.
Quick is not the answer.
Alright, anyway guys,
Switch that camera off. You and I need to sit down in the dark room and I'm going to beat the shit out of you
okay.
for being so silly.
So with Greg's advice and beating taken on board, we polish it up and then we might take it out for a little fly in a minute. I'm doing like the normal height parts. We got Max under here doing the underneath parts. And we got Dad over here doing all the top parts. And then in a minute, if Mark's around, he said he's going to take us out and do some stunts with it. So here we got Mark having a little play in his extra 330 SC, which is pretty much the same as my aeroplane, but a single-seater version. So he's just showing what it's capable of, and then in a minute he's going to take me out in my one. Oh, an upside-down loop. There's got to be a bit of negative G-force there. Probably quite uncomfortable. We're going to finish polishing it up and then we're going to pull it out, give it a little rip. Wax on, wax off. This thing's done like 140 hours, like, it's literally new, isn't it?
Yeah, it is spanking. What's it, Kev? Christmas every day?
Christmas every day.
Right, Max, come and stand over, the engine's starting.
So Mark took off the plane, then I had a little go, so this is me flying it now, and then in a minute I'll give it back to Mark and we do some stunts. So we started off relatively mildly and then Mark stepped it up as time went on. We got it up to about 6 G-forces, which is one more than I had last time, and that does feel pretty crazy. However, the camera did turn itself off, so I lost most of the footage. But anyway, we got a few clips here, and then next plane video, we're gonna get some more stunts on that one. So here Mark's stepping it up a little bit, and I've got to hold on to my headset because otherwise it would fly off of the top of my head. are coming back into land.
Mags off.
Boom. Oh man, that was amazing. That was worth buying the plane just for that.
A lot more to come.
Worth buying it just for that.
That is awesome.
I can't believe you're not sick.
Oh, another 10 minutes, my belly would have probably started to get a bit funny.
Why I came down, just to be sure,
So if you want to follow me on my story of going from a complete beginner with no aviation experience to flying one of the most capable aeroplanes in the world, then subscribe and smash the bell so you stay notified when I come out with more future videos. So massive thanks to Greg for teaching me how to fly, and Mark for finding me the aeroplane and helping me out with it and taking me out for spins. So I'm going to put a link to their social medias down below. Make sure you go and check them out.